it's beyond the tour now, right? So think about it. If we had given you 50,000 to start up that business, why should you pay it back? Why should you pay it back when you've just done what we're promising everybody that we're going to do, which is create job opportunities? So we've invested 50,000 is nothing if we know that you're going to be unemployed. And we're not going to force you to say, oh, you've got to employ this one and that one and that one. You employ who you need to. If you decide you're going to start employing first your brothers and sisters because you feel you trust them more, you're going to expand a little bit more, that's your choice. The opportunity that you have created is what we count. You have created an opportunity within that business. The criteria that we do exclude, however, is we do not fund businesses that is in the transport industry or property. Okay? The reason is because obviously you need money for that, and you're renting property, you go to the bank and it's over a 20-year period, cars financed over 5 to 7 years. So unfortunately we don't go that route. We don't fund anything within the tobacco and gambling industry, the sex industry, and liquor. Okay? Unless, if that is your main source. However, let's say for instance somebody wants to start up a restaurant. Obviously they have a liquor license because people want to drink liquor with a meal. Then that's fine because the sale of the liquor is not the sole source of income. Same thing if a young person says they want to start up a spaza shop. They're going to be selling cigarettes, and that's fine. But cigarettes is not going to be the main source of income. They're going to be selling groceries, airtime, cigarettes, suckers, whatever else. So if it's an additional item, then that's fine. But as long as it's not the main source of income coming from any of those things. You're doing gambling, so you're going to open up a Hollywood bets or something. We're not going to go there. And your own little bean or SEDA, it's not going to work. Okay, so those things we don't fund. We've got a little one-page flyer, so it does give us a little bit of a breakdown, so I can make sure that all of you have access to this. We have a website as well. You can go through our website, look at the criteria and how to apply. One of the things we do is, other than just providing financial support, we also give skills with regards to entrepreneurship and any other non-financial support you might need. So, for instance, you've got a young person who wants to start up a business. Fantastic business idea. But they don't really have the skills to run a business. So why should we say no to somebody like that? Right? So you've got a bright idea, you just don't know how to take it, put it down on paper, or maybe you don't have the strengths in financial management or any of those things, HR matters. But you know how to sell the product that you would like to sell. I'm calling it a product, but it can be a service as well. One of the requirements is before we fund any of our businesses is they've got to attend our entrepreneurship development program. So we've got a 5-day program where we take you through the modules of how to run a business. From how you do your costing, how you do your financing, what it takes to be an entrepreneur and so on. So we take you through quite an intensive 5-day program. You get a certificate of attendance. Once you've attended that, you will then qualify to apply for the grant at NYDA. The only time we exempt you from attending ours if you've already attended something similar. So for instance, SEDA, which Carlett was going to tell you a little bit more about that after me. If you go to SEDA and you attend their training, it's fine because ours is very similar. As a matter of fact, we used to use their material before we got our own to do the training. And then you're exempted from going to ours. You don't have to because you've gone through an entrepreneurship development program. Or if you've studied business management, or you've studied entrepreneurship or retail management, and you come with a certificate to say, I've covered the modules that you're going to be covering, so why should I go through it again? Then you say, okay, then you skip the line and you go straight up to applying for funding. Our turnaround time from the time you apply to us is approximately 21 working days, and that is from the day you submitted everything. That is your forms with all your supporting documents. So if anybody needs emergency funding, we're not the place to come for emergency funding. We are a development organization. So what we do is we develop you as an entrepreneur. So it's a much slower process, but it's a more effective process. And then the other thing we also have is to support an entrepreneur is we need to make sure that if you have a business, we need to make sure that the business is successful. The reason is because if that business goes under, everybody else who is employed also becomes unemployed, right? So we've got help you through that process. Whether it's maybe you're lacking financial skills, we find somebody that's going to help you through that process. Maybe you're struggling with some of the HR stuff or labor law stuff. We get somebody to help you mentor that process as well. Am I still good with that? And then, so we've got our mentorship program. We also have a market linkages where we help you find your feet in the economic sector that you're in. So let's say, for instance, you have a stationery company, right? We help you with the process of how you tender maybe to a government department, so you can be a stationery supplier to a specific government department. Or we will tell you, listen, these opportunities coming up. We know that you are in that industry. Let's prepare you for that so that you can maybe apply for the tender there. So we help you through that process as well to make sure that you remain active in the sector that you are. We also have what we call our business consulting services, which is our support, non-financial support, very, very similar to SEDA, which you're going to hear about, where if you need help with anything else, like for instance, you have this idea, and maybe out 200,000 is too little, and you'd like to go somewhere else to apply this funding, but you need a business plan. We can assist you with the development of a business plan, in the feasibility study that, marketing plans that you need to be done. We've got a long list of other services that we can provide to you as well. What we do is we have professionals that are trained in that area, and we send you to them. Okay? So we don't do it in-house. We've got a list of pre-approved service providers that are qualified in the areas that you need assistance with, and we then send you to those service providers. What happens is the bill then comes to NYDA. So there is a monetary involvement in that, but nothing happens if you don't transact with the service provider, we do it. And what's nice is if you're not happy with the service, we don't pay the service provider. So they need to give you a quality service. So let's say, for instance, you need help with a business plan to be together. And we send you to ABC business organization. They will help you with developing the business plan. If you're happy with it, you sign up on it, and then he gets paid. If you're not happy with it, he doesn't get paid. So he's got to continue working with you until you're satisfied with your business plan. Then only he gets paid. So that way we also ensure that there is quality service that are given to our young entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs. So that's basically what we do with the entrepreneurial sector of the NYDA, is that we provide financial support, we provide non-financial support, we provide the market linkages, and we provide the mentorship as well. We also assist with the registration of businesses. However, we're always honest and upfront with young people to say, you know what, we've got such a backlog, we're probably only going to get you in a year's time. You have a better chance of just going straight to the CIPC and registering your business on your own. We also assist with the IPDM certification, so we can help you with that as well. For young entrepreneurs, if you need any advice on it, we've got some experts and our offices. We have a very close relationship with SEDA and CIFA. When we can't assist, we refer you to either of them. We're not in competition with one another. We have, as a matter of fact, if you come from this, we can fall into ours, and with our programs, you can fall into theirs. We kind of sort of support one another through this process as well. So there's no competition between our organizations. And with us, everything is free. If an NYDA employee comes to you and says you have to pay for anything, you report them immediately. Because there's no monetary exchange that needs to happen between you and any NYDA employee. Our employment services are free. Our access to funding is free. No repayment. Somebody told me you're going to pay back? Sorry, you're going to report them as well. Mentorship programs, our workshops we run, everything is free. We do not pay a cent. As a matter of fact, we actually get a nice meal as well for lunch and coffee and tea and such. Okay. So, it's not specifically just for people living with disabilities. Our program is adapted. We do when we ask, when you come to our workshops, that you just tell us the type of disability so we can make sure that we have the right facilities available. That's all. So if you need assistance with anybody like access to our offices, if it is that we need to get somebody to come and scribe for you and so forth, you just ask those, make those requests up front so that we can make sure we scaffold out and get the right support for you as well. Okay.
Thank you very much, Zubaydah. Please stand in while we just take a few questions. Let's start with the
Because you find those jobs they ask for experience. I mean, don't you learn experience as you work in a job? So you just say that the government is not doing as they should, but don't you think that you should put it up, that they should do their job? That's why you voted.
Just to correct you on that, we are an agency within the South African government, so we get all our funding from your taxes. Okay? So we are not regulated by the Public Services Act, so we're not a government department. We are an agency within government that reports straight through to the presidency. Okay? So you'll hear every year when they have the budget speech, you'll actually hear, you'll know exactly how much NYDA is getting because they declare it there in the budget speech. So you know this is the amount of money that's been put aside for youth development. What I was saying about no government can promise you jobs is that a government is not responsible for creating job opportunities. They are responsible for creating programs that's going to encourage the increase in opportunities for people to find jobs. So that is what we are here for. We are here to build partnerships, to create opportunities through our entrepreneurship programs, through our jobs database, to be the sort of link between the unemployed, job seekers, and the organizations that can create opportunities for them to come and work there. One of our major things that we are pushing, and if you go onto NYDA's Facebook page, you'll always hear our chairman of our board speaking on this on a regular basis, where he's engaging with the president and saying we need to scrap this whole thing of having so much experience. How is a young person supposed to gain experience, right? So that's one of the things that we're in constant conversation with all the necessary stakeholders to say, give opportunities to these young people. And at the end of the day, we can have these conversations, but we can't enforce it. Because like you said, any of you are an entrepreneur here, go according to the needs of your organization. And if you at the moment don't have the time or the effort that it takes into taking on a person with no experience, they go with the one that's more experienced. So we can have these conversations and we can encourage these conversations, but we can't enforce these things on an organization to do it that way.
Can I take the next question?
Okay, so one of the projects I run is a charity shop. Well, we started it out in Grassy Park. It's mainly for people with disabilities to work in. But I just want to ask how can NYDA help me, even other social entrepreneurs, because there's this trend of we don't anymore wait on a donation in the NGO space, but yet we consider it as an NGO because we're asking the community to support us. But the stuff that we get support from, we use to make real money, real jobs. Like our second-hand goods is free, we get it, but we sell it and we pay our staff. I know of recycling businesses, sewing businesses that do the same. They get offcuts or recycled materials. They're not spending necessarily, and they're doing it for the good cause, but they're still making money. It's still sort of like a business model. So how can the NYDA help me to expand this business? It started in December, and we spent a lot of money just putting the structure in place and the security. I would love to make it a training venue for people with disabilities, but also that costs quite a bit of money. So yeah, maybe you tell me what path to follow and how can I help?
Look, like Rustam said, unfortunately the NYDA does not provide funding to NPOs. We don't really feel from the Department of Social Development. However, we do fund cooperatives. So if you have a group of young people there that would like to get together and start up a cooperative, we can absolutely fund them. So that's the one aspect that we can assist them. And then if there's individuals within the organization as well that wants to start up their own company, then we can assist them. But unfortunately, we don't do charities or non-profit organizations.
Just on that, I think maybe you got a good type of a case study. Are you a non-profit or are you a private?
I'm actually registered both, so that I can
okay,
be
so,
able to
so in your situation, just to clarify, I think there's a quickly misunderstanding. You do have an enterprise. Because it's not just a cooperative you help, it's an enterprise that you help, it's a business that you help. And I can give you under 55.
Yeah.
Right. So she qualifies, am I correct?
Yeah.
So you can absolutely follow the channels that NYDA has available in order to support her business.
The business.
100%. And what makes it, the other advantages that you have, you're also black and you are a female. That I'm sure ticks your boxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're under the age of 35.
So she needs to go to the website as a first port of call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go onto our website. and then also the pamphlet has a little bit of more information on the criteria. And as I said to you, if you already have the background with regards to running your own business, you can give us some sort of just proof that you have covered those modules. You can bypass the training and go straight into applying.
I've done an incubator with the level for 3 years. So
And when did you do that?
I did it in 2013, but now the last 3 years I did it in actual incubator for 3 years. So
Okay. Because we, like for instance, if you go to SEDA and you do this, we have a 2-year cut-off. So if you haven't, if it was more than 2 years ago, then you're going to have to go through ours.
it was
So
last
if
year.
it's then you absolutely bypass, bring us that certificate, and you go straight into applying for the funding.
Okay, I will take one more
Thanks.
question. Anybody else wants to, because I've got a handful of questions. I had to back.
Okay, I would like to, my name is Michael from Blackman. I hear you talk about, you say the young person, you have a young person about to start something like that. Now my question is this, when you finish studying, because we see there's a lot of guys that have diploma or something like that are sitting around and they don't have a way, something like that. Do you invent there something like that to cover those things, like something like that? Because you see, young people are sitting around with education and all these things. But the thing is this, they don't have the skills and all these things, but they have a qualification. My question is that basically, do you invent, do you enter in those things like that?
Look, I mean, our database does include graduates as well. So we have got an extensive list of people with qualifications, from national diplomas, right up to, we've got even a PhD candidate that's sitting on our database that's unemployed. And our job is to then partner up with organizations to say, look, this is our database of graduates. What graduate programs do you have so we can get these young people into some sort of internship or a learnership, depending on the type of qualification that they have, so that they can gain the experience that they need. Because that's, as we mentioned now before, is one of the biggest barriers for them finding employment, is that they don't necessarily have the experience that the job advert requires. So we have these types of conversations where we're trying to hopefully scrap this whole thing of having a certain amount of experience. The other thing we also do is, and which is where the career guidance bit came in, one of the challenges we found was that a lot of young people study things in South Africa that aren't in demand. You've got to look at the demand in the economy as well, right? So they go and study stuff like sociology and anthropology. You're going to ask them, so what are you planning on doing with that degree? No, I have a degree. So now they sit at home with this degree in anthropology and sociology, but they don't know what type of jobs to apply for. And they may be applying for these jobs that aren't relevant to the qualification that they have. So one of the things we did was, we also, when we did the career guidance, was to guide kids towards what are the skills need in the country. Because everybody wants to go and study HR, and HR is now saturated, you know what I mean? Everybody wants to go and study these BAs that mean nothing or go nowhere. So what we need to do is we need to guide these young people to say, this is our country, this is the skill we lack in the country, and gear them towards studying something so that they can go into the economy very quickly. I can tell you now, HR, I've got a pile of boxes there, they studied HR. The new one that's added to the pile now is internal auditing. Everybody's studying internal auditing as well. What's the other one that's also? So quite a lot of the, psychology is the other one that they all study. But they only do the undergrad in psychology, which means that they're not psychologists. So they can't become counselors or practicing psychologists. So that's the other thing. So they do these generic qualifications that aren't specific to a specific career that unfortunately gets them into the employment sector. Which is why we still have left the online assessment so that young people can still see what is available to them to go and study.
Okay, I'm going to just call a time on the questions. I'm sure you're going to be around.
I'm still going to be here.
Yeah, so people can engage with you on one-on-one. But I just want to clarify something in terms of the disability organizations. There are quite a few of you here today. And these are questions to yourself. So a lot of the disability organizations have social work services. And they would they call it an intake process where they kind of understand what the needs of the clients, whatever the word is that they use, the beneficiary for the stakeholders. And very often I want a job, right? So when that comes up, can they refer this person to NYDA?
For the job seeker?
For the job seeker.
Absolutely,
yes.
absolutely. This is exactly what we're trying, and as I said, we do not have an extensive list, as a matter of fact, non-existent list of people with disabilities. So we need to grow that from an NYDA perspective, and because we are getting requests from companies as well. A lot of training companies, whereas learnerships or internships for people with disabilities, and we say, unfortunately, we can't help you because I can't make a promise and then I'm running around looking, and then the company never comes back to us again. So to ensure that that relationship stays out, so I can't cater for you right now, but we want to work on that, and that's why I said we are going to have a workshop, part of NYDA's Youth Month, which is June. We're going to be focusing on that and getting sort of the right people in the room so that we can start going to them. They have to have it there so that we can have the right people in the room so that we can start speaking about these, speaking the same language of how we can get people into the working environment. Or in entrepreneurship, that's something.
Okay, so that's the one scenario. The other scenario is that the organization also has these protective workshops. So the protective workshop, ideally, and I know I may be trampling on the toes of the disability organizations here, but it's with a conduit, right? But a conduit for persons with disabilities to get a skill and to go out into the world of work. So we have this captive market of young people that needs to know a little bit more about employment processes. Like I'm sure you assist people, like you said, the CE development and maybe the assessment and how to not show TV, that type of thing. Those are very practical things. Yeah, very practical stuff. So would you be open to us as an organization, let me use Cape Town IPD as an example, where we were to ask you, would you be prepared to speak to our consumer groups and be able to teach them these skills? Would you be open to the organization approaching you for something like that?
Our trainers come out,
okay.
So it's not just about young people coming to us. Our trainers are very seldom in the office because they're always out providing. Even these entrepreneurship workshops, we will come to you. If you can pull a big enough group together, we will absolutely come to your venue. We are responsible for the entire Western Cape. Our Cape Town office is responsible for the entire Western Cape. So if you want us to go as far up as Beaufort West, we do that. We will come into the community, however, we also got to look at the numbers.
Sure.
So we can't come out if there's 5 people.
So what is that?
It's normally a minimum 15.
Perfect.
So if you can get a minimum of 15, 15, 1
yeah.
Our trainers will normally cut it off at about maybe 25 because then the group gets a little bit too big.
Sure.
But 15 is ideal because then we'll come out.
But would you be open to doing multiple groups if we've got the market?
We can if we can get all our trainers to coordinate these schedules. So we could do that.
Sure, we can do that. Then the third scenario, which I alluded to in my introduction, is that we have our workers in the protective workshops, right? And it would be good for us to start investigating this whole concept of the cooperative. Because at the end of the day, you earn 200,000 Rand. Now, 200,000 Rand is a lot of money for our workers in the workshop to be able to develop them to another level so they can be self-sustainable. I'm sure that's not handout money, right? It's not money that you just give to people and you walk away. It is in order to make a difference. And remember, within our protective workshops, very often they don't have a certain piece of equipment, okay? Or maybe they need to get a particular service which may not be money related, because if it's service related, you cover that in any case, under the business plan and that type of thing. So I think, go back to those of you who are in protective workshops or self-help groups, or you're a little groupie or something that gets together and wants to do something from an economic activity point of view, go back to your organizations and say to them, how can we integrate with NYDA in terms of our needs? I think that sounds good. NYDA for needs. Okay. Just one thing that is going to be a stumbling block that you're going to come across, which will be addressed by the next speaker, which is one. She spoke about exclusion. So I'm also excluded because I'm on the other side of 50. Okay. So I'll have to speak to Carlett here. But age is a concern, and I've had interaction with NYDA where they have said that they will not be able to provide benefit to people that don't fall within their group. So therefore, what we need to do as an organization, we can't go to NYDA and say, listen here, we kind of got a mixed hybrid group. We're going to have to say to NYDA, okay, we've got 50 people, but we've got 25 that are young. So we're going to take the 25 that are young, okay, falls within your target market, and we'll do an intervention with NYDA. Then we've got those like me that is on the other side of 35. Am I correct, 35? Right? Where we can ask SEDA to do an intervention. Now, I also believe that it's good to use these organizations, which are the developmental funding institutions. They have a collaborative relationship already. Okay, so we mustn't feel shy, am I correct, Carlett, whether we are speaking to NYDA or whether we're speaking to SEDA. But at the end of the day, we can get that benefication. So, funding, DSD, I sit on both IPDM and the Western Cape Network on Disability. We just got our TPAs, okay, from DSD. And our organizations, both of them were cut by 20% in our funding, right? Now, just imagine we can get the resources from these development funding institutions. I mean, really, it's going to make a big difference in terms of the impact to our beneficiaries, our workers, our stakeholders. Okay, thank you very much, Zubaydah. We are really looking forward to that youth intervention. Right? I think that's a good starting point, and I'm almost sure everybody is captive to that. The organizations here need to, it's our responsibility to make sure that this message goes down, okay, to our target market. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
She made my job very easy to tell you about SEDA services. So, SEDA, one can say, is almost a sister company of NYDA and of CFA. So CFA stands for the Small Enterprise Finance Agency or Funding Agency. So from the offset, we'd like to say that SEDA, from where I come from, Small Enterprise Development Agency, and we are non-financial support services company. So unlike NYDA and CFA, we don't give funding. Okay, so we don't have funding to give to our entrepreneurs, but we give financial support in another way. Okay, so that, but we call that non-financial support services because we pay the service providers, just like NYDA pays their service providers for various interventions. We pay the service providers to do the service. So also our services, the difference between SEDA and NYDA is that we don't, our services are subsidized. So we don't give it completely free because we want the entrepreneur to feel that they're also contributing something to the cost. So SEDA assists all age groups, so over 35, but we don't just assist exclusively over 35. So we assist any age group, okay, and we also, our sectors are the disability sector, the youth sector, and women, and black, or anybody that's an entrepreneur. We don't just only assist black people, okay, just to clarify that. But you do have an advantage if you, obviously, if you are black. So for example, the so-called whites, they pay a little bit more for the services than what you do because of the big disadvantages and the disparity that we've had from the past. Okay, so that's just the way it is. We can't make excuses for that. Okay, so SEDA, as I said, is non-financial support service. So what we do is, we do an assessment on your business. Okay, so when you come to SEDA, we will then meet with you. We will then ask you at which level you are, if you're a startup business, if you're an existing business, or you have an idea and you would like to start a business. So when you have an idea and you'd like to start a business, then you would come, like Zubaydah said, you would come to our basic awareness course, and that is free of charge. We can do that at our Cape Town office, or we can do it at our office in Bellville, but most of the training happens in Bellville. We also have offices or branches in Carlett and then throughout the Western Cape. as far as Beaufort West. So we're in Beaufort West, we're in NYDA, we're in Atlantis, we're in Oudtshoorn, we're in Hermanus, where else? We're in George, yes, Mossel Bay. So throughout the Western Cape we have a SEDA office, and SEDA is national, so we also have it in PE and all the other provinces. So SEDA offers what we call the non-financial support service, like I said, and we will do what we call a diagnostic assessment on your business. So you would come into us and then we would ask you if you've made any, if you've generated any income. And I think a lot of people are put off by that. But we can't stand on the platform and say, we can't assist you because you haven't made any money. But the reality of it is we also have a limited budget. So we can't just accept all startup businesses and then we don't have any success out of the businesses. So the ideal situation is we will ask you if you've generated any income. So the startup businesses, like I said, or those with the business idea, will first come for the training, and then when your business is operating, then we will see how we can assist you with any of what we call the interventions. Now the type of intervention that we do assist with is your business plan development, and I'll touch on a bit about that again, with your marketing material, your website development, and once you have your business premises, we will then assist you with your signage. Your signage on your vehicles, if you require vehicle, on your building, or your pop-up banners and business cards fall under promotional material, and the signage on the windows and on the cars and on the building, and dolphin flags and that type of thing, that falls under signage. So it's a range of services, but besides the promotional material and the website development, we do other developmental services for your business. So say for example, you are a clothing manufacturer. Okay, maybe you're making t-shirts or baby vests or whatever clothing items you make, or product that you're making, any jams, achars, chutneys, whatever. And now you've grown your business to the stage where you would like your business to be sold in the retail stores. So as we know today, you can't just take like before, you could make some chutney or achar, put it in a nice bottle, and then sell that. Okay, people are very conscious about what they eat and what ingredients they are. And I remember when we were growing up, there was no such thing as checking for any allergens. And if the product is organic, we just ate. We just bought and we ate without reading the labels. Okay, but now we're living in an era where everybody goes to the label, and some people are allergic to nuts, and some people are allergic to all kinds of chemicals and things. So they would like to read the label. So that's where SEDA will come in. So we will get a service provider that will take your product to a lab, and they can even then test your product to see whether it's safe or doesn't contain nuts or doesn't tell any of the other allergens. How much salt content, how much sugar content your product has. So that is for the food testing that we will send the product to the labs. But that will obviously be not just for any product, but when you're at that stage, we are ready to have your product go to stores. If there's any quality management systems that your company needs in order to supply retails, like we talk about the clothing, if you're going to sell it in the retail store, but you need to have the necessary systems when it comes to the production floor and the production layout. Then, because you know, when you're starting out, you just say, okay, this is my reception area. This is my, where the receptionist is going to sit, she's going to answer the telephone. That's where the tables are laid out. That's where the sewing machines are. That's where the storage facilities are. That's where we have our dirt bins. So that's basically how we operate in the community. But when you move your business into the production space, then there's obviously more professional ways of doing the layout. So that is something that we could also assist with. Okay, so with your layout for the operations of your business and any quality management systems, any policies that you require in your business. NYDA, Zubaydah spoke about job creation, and employing people, because that is what entrepreneurship is all about. Entrepreneurship is about self-employment, where you want to create an extra income for yourself, and then in addition to that, because you can't, as Zubaydah said, you can't run the business alone, you will then start employing people. So we all know that you can't just be employing people without having the necessary contracts drawn up, because once you become an employer, then you are then responsible for that person when the person is in your employ. So you will then also need to cover yourself, and you also would then need to comply with the law in terms of the basic conditions of employment. So that is where we would also then come in to assist you to draw up, we would call it HR systems, and we will then assist your company to draw up the necessary HR documents like your employment contract and your code of conduct, and how to, when there's maybe a worker that will take you to the CCMA because you haven't paid them according to the rates, then we will also then assist you with drawing up all of those necessary documents and to follow the necessary procedures according to the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. So there's quite a diverse range of services that SEDA offers your business. Now, just to touch on the diagnostic assessment that SEDA will conduct, nothing to be scared of. It's just you don't have to say, oh, now I don't have financials. How are they going to do the assessment, etc., etc. We will extrapolate that information from yourself, because lots of times people come to us and they say, I am operating kind of, but I don't have any financials. Okay, so we have got a template, an income and expenditure template that we do have, and we will extract that information from you. So, like I said, many people say, no, but I'm not really existing, but you've been operating your business. So the first place I would start in, I would say, you do use your phone, right? And data is very expensive, isn't it? So then I say, okay, how much do you spend for your telephone? How much do you spend on your airtime or your data for the week? Okay, and you'll be amazed. A lot of people don't keep track of how much you actually spend. So it's just like running your domestic, your personal budget, but when it comes to the business, it's even more important to keep track and to keep record. I'm looking at you because I'm sure you've learned, maybe even the hard way, how you need to keep record of your income and expenditure. So I would ask you how much you spend on your telephone. You couldn't have just, you need to go and buy all your stock. So how did you get there? That type of thing. So you do from time to time, you have to use transport. And from running your personal budget, you know that most of the money, your income that you get in, goes with transport. Especially with our unreliable transport systems getting a bit better, but we do spend a lot of money on transport. Now I want to, so that will be the type of questions that we will ask you, and then we will encourage you to keep track of your business expenses. So that's where we talk about the record keeping. Why is record keeping important in your business? You want to answer us? Why do you think record keeping is important?
So that you can keep track of what's going on.
Yes. And also you can determine the growth and see at what stage your business is at. Okay, so I think one can even quote from the Bible and say that if you can't work with a little, you can't work with much, and I'm sure it's in the Quran also somewhere that you must manage your you must manage your finances. Okay, so I want to just go back for Rasim's purposes on the types of business registrations. So from the offset, I would like to say, I want to encourage you and say you must register your business. Okay, because there is a part of there you can operate as an informal business. There's nothing wrong with operating as an informal business. Now, how many of you are doing business but your business is not registered? Anybody? And you can be selling sweets, or you can be doing hair on the side, or you can be baking cookies. You're doing something. What are you doing?
Paving.
Paving. Okay, that's great. Is that like brick paving?
Yes, for your driveway.
For your driveway and so on. Okay, that's great. Okay, so anybody need paving done at home? You can contact me.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I have a food truck paved on
Is
Saturday.
it?
I
You
was
could
checking.
use it. Yeah. And it's a dirty job and it's a, yeah, it's hard work. Okay. I should have. Okay. So, now, what's your name again? Was it your name?
Melbourne.
Melbourne. So Melbourne can be an informal business. It doesn't have to be registered. Okay? And Melbourne can make some money on the side. Nothing wrong with that. Thanks, Zubaydah. There's nothing wrong with that. So he's complementing or supplementing his income. But now there's an opportunity for Melbourne. There's a nice big tender coming out, or RFQ, request for quotation coming out from the city, and they're asking for the day hospital in retreat to be paved. Okay? So they say how many square meters is there, the site meeting and all of that. And then, do you think Melbourne can go and do the job when he's not registered? No. Okay, I think there's some clever people here. Ne? So what documents would he need to be able to apply for that RFQ? What are the documents? I'm sure you know. Yes?
You need a certificate to show that it's qualified.
Okay. Come help him out. The registered businesses. What do you need? Social entrepreneur? What type of documents will you need to apply for that RFQ? For the request for quotation? If you want to apply for any government tender, what would you need? The basic documents.
Registration.
That's right. That's right. So I always say hold up your 5 fingers, and then the 5 basic compliance documents that you need, and that's the file. You know, you'll be surprised how many people come to us, and it actually irritates me because they come to a business place to inquire about business, and they don't even bring the ID with. Okay? So that's the first document that you need. So especially the men, I don't know what is it about men. They don't like to carry a whole lot of documents. Ask a woman, she will have a proof of address in the bag. She will have in the bag. She may even have a tin opener in the bag. Okay, but we just know men, it's like that. Okay, I bought my husband a nice man bag. It's just like that. They don't want to take a bag. Okay? So the 5 things that you would need to take along wherever you go when it comes to your business would be your, first of all, your ID. That's the first official document that you would need to have. Everybody has an ID?
Yeah.
Who has an ID? Everyone has an ID. So that will be the starting document that you would take with when you go to. So when Melbourne comes to us, Melbourne has an ID. It's an informal business, but at least has an ID. The second document is when Melbourne wants to go and apply for that RFQ, then you would need company registration documents. So there's a choice. You can be registered in about 4 different ways. At least you qualify to register as a sole proprietor. So you can just go to SARS and then you can apply to be a sole proprietor. He doesn't have to register a company. So sole proprietor only means that you go to SARS and they will give you a tax number. So you could have had a tax number when you worked previously. That will be fine. Then you want to maybe just have a business name. So he wants to be called Melbourne's Paving. Then he will go to SARS and update and say, I want to run my business on the side, and can you please give me a trading as name? Then they might help him to give him a trading as name, and he can say, I'm Melbourne's Paving, trading as. They don't put it on the tax certificate anymore though, but at least will come with a tax clearance certificate with your tax number on. Then the third thing would be then your tax clearance certificate. Tax clearance certificate, what is the name? What is the main name in tax clearance? The main name in there is clearance. So clearance means that you are clean with SARS, you don't owe SARS from your previous life when you were maybe working and you got a payout, or you didn't go to SARS to give any IRB5s. Then I would like to say they like to look into your navy blue eyes and say, okay, you need a tax clearance, now you're coming to us, but here's something outstanding. So that certificate, they'll only give you the certificate once you clear. If there's anything outstanding with them, obviously they'll tell you, I need your IRB5 from 2015, or you have been operating your existing business, I need your annual financial statements, and those are the type of documents that you will then take with to SARS. So that's the third thing. So the first thing was your ID, the second thing was your company registration documents if you do have, and the tax clearance certificate. The fourth thing that you would normally take with if you're an existing business will then be your annual financial statements. So that's where SEDA will come in. If you don't have annual financial statements, you haven't had access to an accountant, then SEDA will give you access to an accountant for at least once. You can't come to SEDA every year and ask for annual financial statements. So for the first time, so sometimes business people come to us, they've never done their tax, they may be outstanding since 2015, so at least for 3 years, then you'll get an accountant to sort out your tax. So we had a guy now not so long ago, he came with 6 years outstanding financials because SARS will help you the first time, they'll see you in for the first year or the second year because they can see in your on your bank statements that you haven't generated a lot of money. So then they'll say, okay, you don't have to the first year, we can see there was no money generated. The second year, okay, there hasn't been money generated, so we'll give you a tax clearance. But by the third year, they'll say, no. You need some proof from an accountant to say that you haven't been generating any income. There are lots of things that lots of times people don't know. When you go and register a company, they don't read all that fine print, all that additional documents. So when you go and register a company with CIPC, you get a nice little stack of documents. That will be your 14.3 is the registration documents. That's the 3 pages, consists of 3 pages. That's the one that you will give for your registration documents. Then the other fine print, there's a document that will say that there's your articles of association, and remember, it's almost like a constitution if you have in an NGO, that's like your constitution. But then in that fine print, I can talk a lot, so you must just stop me. So in that fine print, it will say that you need to pay your annual returns. So surprise, surprise, if you registered a company a few years back, and you never operated, or you did operate, but you never paid your annual returns to CIPC, or those years they were called CIPRO. You need to pay them 100 Rand per year. And you pay that annual return when it's on or before your company birthday. Not your birthday, your company birthday. So if your company was registered on the 24th of December 2019, you've never paid, and now all of a sudden you now take out your documents, it's full of dust, you dust it off, now you want to operate your business. Hello, 2019 and 20, this is the, if it's I've said 2 years, 15, 16, 15, 16, 17, 18, and now we're 19. So say for 4 years. So that means you must pay CIPC 100 Rand for each year that you didn't pay. They don't forget, it's on the system. So that's 4 years, so that's 4 times 100 Rand that you must pay CIPC for outstanding or annual returns. And then they charge you a penalty of 50 Rand. So that means it's 400, 500, 600 Rand. So it's going to cost you 600 Rand just to get your company registered again, because CIPC will deregister it. So that's why you hear the term deregistration. They will deregister your business if you don't use that company. So is it worth it to pay that 600 Rand? I always ask the question, you come to me and you pay, and your company is almost deregistered. Maybe not worth it to pay that 600 Rand if it costs you 175 to register a new company. Because I mean, you don't have money to waste or pay money for it, but then you can't get the same name that you had. So if your business name was Melbourne's Paving, Melbourne's Paving won't be able to get that name again because it's deregistered. So now you have to tweak that name a little bit. So that's a little bit of the tips. Then I went through the ID, the company registration, the tax clearance certificate, your financials. Then the 5th one is your sector that you're in, that requirement. So Melbourne will fall under, nice to pick on you, Melbourne. So you will fall under the construction sector. So in order to get onto the databases, you will then need to go and have an extra registration, which is going to be with CIDB, and that is the regulatory body for the construction industry. So CIDB stands for Construction Industry Development Board. If you're doing food and making rotis at home and making samosas at home, that's fine, you can operate informally. But now you want to go cater for the schools, and you want to go cater for the clinics, you want to do a catering job for Department of Health. Whenever you become formalized and you need to be on the database, then you need 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one, when you're in the food business, that's going to be your health certificate. When you're doing clothing, we will then encourage you to go to Clotex, They are the best people with clothing and textile, and they will advise you in terms of clothing and textile. Because they, like NYDA, gets calls to say, I need someone that can do that type of job. Clothix also gets phone calls, and sometimes for funny things. Like I remember one day they phoned me, they said, do you know anyone that makes lingerie? All know what's lingerie? The men? Underwear. Okay, so do you have anybody that makes underwear? So that's actually a skill. At that point I thought, I don't know anyone that makes underwear. But they needed someone to make underwear. I've got a client now, he designs, it's a band actually, he designs baby wear. So at least know someone that designs baby wear. So when you're making clothing, think of a little bit outside of the box as to what to make, because sometimes there are people that need you to make specific things. So Clothix, for example, they will get someone calling them that says, we have a big order for bags, for example. Do you have anybody in the community that can assist to make bags? So when you're with Clothix, I think it's good to just, when you're making clothing, register yourself with Clothix. I think they're still at Cliffontein Road. They were the old creek was, in Cliffontein Road. So that in a nutshell is about SEDA. The types of registration I'm just going to run through. So you can register yourself as a sole proprietor with SARS. Second thing, closed corporations don't exist anymore, but if you do have an existing CC and you've paid up your annual returns, then you can still look after your CC, but you can't register a new CC. CCs that shut down, so you can only register a private company, a PTY, Ltd. So that all costs 175 Rand with CIPC to register a business entity, PTY. Then the third option of registration would then be the cooperative that Russell was alluding to, and for that you need to be a minimum of, who knows, how many members? Minimum of 5 members. I always say at least add another 1 or 2, because there's always someone that falls out. So at least 7 members is a comfortable group. If you make the group too big, it becomes clumsy, and it becomes, to manage a business. I personally have got co-ops, it's over 50 members, and it's a headache. It's a headache for the administrator. Okay, so that's a cooperative. The SEDA does not give funding, I must say, from the offset, but you can apply for funding as a cooperative. I don't know if you know the amount went up. It used to be 350,000, and it's not official yet, so I'm talking out of the house. But I think they give up to an amount of 1.4 million now. But you've got to prove that you've got a entity that is generating income and that is employing people, then you can apply for the cooperative. But they don't stop startup cooperatives from applying. But it's obviously always good to show that you're a viable business entity. So that in a nutshell is what SEDA does. So we will, I think we need, like any other organization, we are snowed under. We do have, because the paperwork is cumbersome. I think we've been having discussions for a long time now on how we can get rid of some of the paperwork. But being government institutions, pro-government institutions, we probably almost never get rid of the paperwork. So that always keeps us busy and prevents us from coming out more than what we'd like to come out. But like NYDA, we are willing to come out to run our workshops, business skills workshops, or to come and do these talks or to give you advice.
Okay, let's take some questions. We'll take about 3 questions. Anybody wants to go first? You're going to leave it all to me.
Just to say, the registration form of SEDA that was going around with your name, I know it's cumbersome to always put your ID number on. When you fill out the register, then you will go onto our system as a lead, as an individual. So if you go back to SEDA now, tomorrow, in a year, in 2 years' time, you will be on our system. So you can then just go back to any SEDA in Carlett, in Cape Town or in Paubo, and then they'll pick you up on the system, and then we can register you as a SEDA client.
What's your surname?
Egypt.
Okay, so I want to just come back to the protective workshops with regard to how we operate. it's going to be important for us to see these developmental funding institutions as resources for the protective workshops. But I want to encourage those people that are here today that carries the responsibility at your organization of being able to channel your beneficiaries into these opportunities to interact with these ladies, where they can maybe come to you and have a conversation with you about your type of service offering, so that they can better inform the beneficiaries of the process. Because what happens, and we know this, is that people get sent to Belleville, they see this in Belleville, they go there, and they're very disappointed because they didn't quite understand themselves why they are there. Okay, then they get lost and then they get frustrated. And remember, when a person with a disability goes and travels, it becomes a challenge because it takes us a lot of effort to get there. Right now, we had to ask our aunt and our uncle to drop us there and wait for us, and whatever the case may be. So from the disability organization side, try and get yourselves a favor process with regard to the developmental funding institutions. Then I just want to touch base, am I correct?
Yes.
Right, and you're open to them interacting with
I think that is why I mentioned at least when you go in for the first time, take those documents with, so that you can then say, here I am, I'm Joseph, I would like to register as a SEDA client. That will be the first point of call.
Sure.
Yeah.
Then just in terms of cooperatives, this notion is not new within IPDM. I don't know if anybody here remembers DWDE, but that's one of our member organizations. That organization was founded by IPDM years ago, at least 10, 15 years ago. And at the time, the reason why it was founded was it was actually a project that was conceptualized by Training Workshops Unlimited. So those of you that are here from Training Workshops Unlimited, it came from one of the managers there, Gordon I think was his name. Okay, and DWDE was formulated because of cooperatives. Now cooperatives comes on a long way, and yet the disability sector hasn't been able to utilize it. So Carlett spoke about she asked the question with regard to how many members of a co-op must there be, and she recommended it should be beyond 7 people at least. Right? That was her recommendation. But she also guarded against let it not be 50 people in a cooperative because it becomes unwieldy. So for those of you that are from protective workshops, this is what you need to think about. When you have people that are cleaning the hangars, you let that group become a cooperative. Then you've got people that's packaging the soaps, you let them become a cooperative. Then you've got people that's washing cars, you let them become a cooperative. Right? So you've got these little small groups of little cooperatives. But then the organization has what they call a secondary cooperative.
Yes.
Right?
Sorry, what I can cut you in there. What I can do is if you drop me an email, then I will send you the presentation that Lerato used when Lerato is the cooperative coordinator. You will see there that the primary co-op, in order to become, you first get a primary cooperative, then you get a secondary cooperative, and then you get the next level, which is a tertiary cooperative. So to become a secondary co-op, you need a minimum of 2, and 2 cooperatives to join to become a secondary cooperative, and then you need a minimum of 3 to become a tertiary cooperative. And Lerato is the person, and he should be able to come out and have workshops on how to register a cooperative.
So just coming back to our organization, right? If, for example, we start going and formulating these cooperatives, we can then form a secondary cooperative at an organizational level. So if I can use one thing in APD, so I'm picking on your APD today. But let's say, for example, you've got your self-help group from Southern Suburbs. They still exist. Yeah. So they are doing pockets of work. Okay, so they're in groups of 7 or 10, right? And then maybe you've got another cooperative that you have somewhere else. So your different cooperatives, because you've got the 2 cooperatives, they can basically become an APD secondary cooperative. And then what we do is we then go to Wendy Nept and we ask Wendy, are you also interested in co-ops? And she'll take her hangers people and put them in a car. She'll take woodwork people and put them in a car. She'll also form a secondary car. And then at a disability sector level, we pull all our co-ops together and we create a primary car, a tertiary car. What that means is that we can then go and have more power. I mean, we already have a lot of power, but we have more power when we go to the leaders and the SEDAs and the other developmental funding institutions in South Africa. In fact, we can go to government procurement directly and we can say, we got this mass, this critical mass, we represent thousands of persons with disabilities and we want our fair share of that government spend. I think they spend about 10% of the government spend just goes to small businesses. They're allocated to certain industries whereby we can benefit. So please take from the valuable knowledge that we've got from the ladies here today, take it back to your organizations, have the conversation. Take these ladies, their details, so that you can actually tell your directors or you can tell your economic development staff, please make contact with them. Ask them to come and meet your organization, because you've got your own think tank there. Okay, if they don't come and visit you, tell me, because I'm going to have a problem.
We have actually started that with Blanche.
Excellent,
Okay.
excellent, excellent. So let's share that best practice. And IPDM, a lot of our DAD people at the back, our disability awareness desks, this is going to be important for you to get to understand this knowledge a little bit better. So Alex, I'm looking at you, right? Because you basically carry that company, you and Shireen, in terms of the coordinator. Maybe what we need to do is that we need to affiliate our DAD team with a session out at SEDA or at NYDA, okay? And that they can basically explain to us more of what they do. Because our DAD staff, our DAD volunteers, when they get referrals from the community, here's SEDA's contact details, here's NYDA's contact details, okay, and you can make the difference as a, okay, you're 34 years, 9 months, you can still maybe get to NYDA, I know you don't get to 34 9 months, but I'm just using it as an example. But sorry man, you like me, you're 51 years old, going on 52, I don't see that. Okay, so I think that is very important. This is valuable knowledge, but it is important that we take this valuable knowledge and we take it a step further. Okay, we complain all the time, we don't have enough money, we don't have enough resourcing, and whatever the case may be, yet government has gotten all these lovely opportunities in the way that these ladies have presented today, that we can basically utilize what they have to offer.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I just add something? The cooperative, the PTY will cost you 175 Rand, and the cooperative will cost you 275 Rand. And then for the cooperative, you just like for the NGO where you have a constitution, you will then also need the constitution. But there is like the same like with the NPO, they have the model constitution online.
Okay.
Okay.
So can we please give a round of applause to Carlett?
Round of applause for you.
Absolutely. Okay everybody, so this is once again IPDM. Thank you for coming to our presentation today. I just want to alert you to our lovely publication. This is our newsletter. We're very, very proud. I mean, I remember the days of the paper, photocopy paper that we used to use, right? I need to acknowledge the gentleman that puts it together for us. This is Amir. He's basically taking pictures and video of all of us. You must really go. Stuff is on social media. Eh? Where can they get to all our stuff on social media?
Well, on the website, as well as on social media can be uploaded.
I mean, go and have a look. All our latest events, we've got it in color, and we've got lovely productions of what it is that we do. So we're very proud of what we do. We're also very proud of the fact that we have our DAD team. Our DAD team is our disability advice desk that is in the community, that basically persons that are struggling with, where do I go for employment, where do I go for transport, housing, whatever the case may be, our DAD team is there. And then of course, I've spoken about our newsletter, whatever it is that needs to happen, so we will be approaching NYDA and SEDA, please, you've got to write up, can we include it? okay, as part of our distribution process. So we do that as well. And I must thank you here today, and especially if you are repeat attendees. Right? IPDM really has a very good support base. And we have that very good support base because you are here. But we hope we are providing you with value. If we're not, then help us to provide you with more value. People, thank you very, very much. There are refreshments through the door, to the right, up the ramp. Please enjoy, and thank you very much for being here.